Hey y'all, coming here with another video today, part 2 of my Knives Every American Should Own series. Last one I did in the backyard, but it's a little noisy out there with the neighbors today, so in here on my little workbench. Nice and quiet in here, no background noise to drown out my melodious voice while I talk to you about a knife here. You may have noticed in the little outdoor adventure video I had posted previously, I had a certain knife on my belt that many of you probably are familiar with. It was the KaBar USMC Fighting Utility Knife. USMC standing for United States Marine Corps, as they are the ones that made this knife famous throughout World War II. So the design, it's not an original KaBar design. The company, at the time of World War II, they were known as Union Cutlery. The knife was designed by, I think, a military designer. I do not recall his name, but it was called the Mark II fighting utility knife, made by several different manufacturers, predominantly Camillus, who went out of business in the mid 2000s, but I guess is back now selling $5 to $10 cheapo Chinese knives at Walmart. Not the brand that they were in the 20th century. And the manufacturer of the famous Mark II fighting knife. The knife is manufactured today by, most famously, by KaBar, the KaBar Knives Inc. company, which this knife is from. And they also did make them in World War II. And the knife became known as the KaBar, even if it was a Camillus brand, just because a lot of the military folks said the KaBar branded ones were the good ones, at least according to KaBar Knives Inc. If you can speak more highly of the Camillus brand, you go right ahead. Because I think that is a statement from today's KaBar Knives Inc. And of course, I'm sure they're all pretty much the same. Ontario makes a version of this knife nowadays. You can even get a version of this knife made by Case. They did not make this knife in World War II, but they did submit a prototype to the government, and that is what they sell today. They sell their prototype. It looks pretty much the same stack leather design, 7-inch blade. The Case design does not have the fuller like the KaBar, and I think every other brand who made the knife had a fuller. But talk a little more about the KaBar. It's got a 7-inch blade. Overall length is 11.875 inches. Is what I looked up earlier. Spine thickness, I think, is 0.16, not sixth. Can't have that in a decimal. So that's about the 5/32 of an inch thick. And it's just a great all-around fixed blade knife. It is not the true full tang. It is a rat tail tang. You can see on the butt end here that rectangle, that is the width of the tang that runs down from the choil here down through the guard and all the way through the handle, and is pinned there at the bottom through that silver pin there, to hold it all together, I guess. So it's not the today's standards. You got all these big full tang 1/4 inch thick knives that are good for chopping and all that. The KaBar fighting utility knife, it's not that. Can you chop some stuff with it? Of course you can. Can you baton split wood with it? You can. But know its limitations. It's it's a combat and utility knife. Comes razor sharp. We'll just whittle at a stick here like I did the other day with my Buck 110. It's made of 1095 high carbon steel. KaBar specialized Crovan blend, they call it. And they have some black coating to help prevent rust. World War II, they had at least some of them had a bluing on it. Not a true black coating like is on it today. But, they're still great knives. They come razor sharp. KaBar does make different iterations of this Mark II style knife today. You can get it in other handle variations besides stacked leather. I have one behind me here. The newer ones come with a molded plastic sheath. It's not true Kydex. It's just some sort of plastic, and the handles are made of a rubber material called Kraton. But as you can see, it's the same 7-inch blade, and the same guard. The handle, however, is a little bit shorter. It's an 1/8 of an inch shorter in overall length. Let's see. So it's about a butt cap shorter. So the Kraton handled. I have the foliated green one. They come in black. They have a tan color that is, I think, exclusive to the KaBar website. And last year they came out with the United States Space Force version in like a sky blue kind of color with a gray blade coating. It looks pretty cool. Not exactly an outdoorsy look, but maybe you can wear it to a job interview or something. But again, they're both blades. They're identical. As far as I can tell. Back in World War II, and I think for quite some time after, KaBar made these with a sharpened swedge. So in a fighting situation, you could thrust at somebody, and if you miss, come around like that and cut them on a back cut with that sharpened swedge there. I mentioned the case version of this knife earlier that they sell. They sell their World War II prototype. Theirs still comes with the sharpened swedge, and it's the same price as the KaBar version, at least on Amazon. Right now, I checked, they're both like $76. But this knife you can get, usually between $70 and $80. Pretty much any online retailer. That's pretty standard. The MSRP at KaBar is like $116 or something like that. But pretty much between $70 and $80. Anywhere you buy knives online. I looked at this knife at the Cabela's near my home, and they want $114 for it. So don't buy it there unless you really need it right then and right now. Order it online from Amazon. Have it. If you have your Prime membership, get it in 2 days. But the KaBar. And if you don't know your history of KaBar, the name KaBar comes from a letter written to the Union Cutlery Company, which was KaBar's former name. Came from an Alaskan hunter who, in a letter from I want to say like 1916 or somewhere around there, the guy wrote them a letter how he killed a bear with his Union cutlery knife, and the way he wrote it, sloppy, backwoodsman speech, handwriting, and uh, dialect is the word I'm looking for. It looked like it said killed a bar, like K a bar, which is where KaBar comes from. If you wanted to know that fun, tasty fact. The KaBar company produced an amazing documentary about their company within the last couple of years, and it's on their YouTube channel, and I will link it in the description here. If you have any interest in them, their company, or just in knives, it's super cool, very well produced documentary. Highly recommend men watching, and I'll put the link to it in the description. But yeah, KaBar can't. Are there better knives? Yes, but this knife, it really will do it all. It's thin enough. You can use this to process large game like deer, bears. I'm sure plenty of people do use this as a hunting knife. It's thin enough. It has a kind of a flat saber grind to it. You can use this in the kitchen to do food prep. You probably don't want to do that with some 1/4 inch thick blade. It's not, won't be good for slicing stuff, but this will do just fine. Doing some type of food prep. A lot of preppers and survivalists, they have this knife in their preps because it just works. That 1095 is a tough, high carbon steel. You take care of it, keep it oiled and the nasty wetness off to prevent rust. This knife will do you good. It's just an American military classic that I think every American should own. Take care.